One man, one voice, one unshakable resolve. In the darkest crucible of American history, when a nation was torn at the seams into ashes, Abraham Lincoln stood, not with an army, but with an iron will. His signature on the Emancipation Proclamation didn't just free the enslaved, it freed a nation from its own moral paralysis. He stood tall not because he echoed the masses, but because he dared to rise above them. For centuries, mankind has bowed before the illusion that power lies in numbers, that strength is measured in legions, that truth resides in silence. But history is not moved by the timid majority. It is shaped by the brave minority. The roar of real change is seldom a chorus. It is often a whisper of one brave soul who refuses to be still, who utters the utmost truth, that the man with courage makes the majority. Mr. President, in a world obsessed with blending in, where comfort hides as consensus, it is not the crowd that shapes history. It's the courageous individual who dares to stand when standing alone costs everything. Man with courage makes the majority, because when conviction speaks, even silence listens. The obedient masses may fill the streets, but it is solitary soul, defiant in truth and unshaken in purpose, who moves mountains. True influence is not born of applause, but of audacity. It lives in Mandela behind the bars, Malala at her death, and Greta with a placard in the storm, alone but never powerless. They were not echoes of the society, they were sparks that lit its conscience. Courage may be outnumbered, but never outweighted. When one brave heart chooses principle over popularity, truth over silence, and justice over fear, the world does not just listen, it follows. Because the courageous man does not join the majority, he becomes it. Mr. President, history does not thunder in the footsteps of the crowd, it erupts in the echo of voices unbowed. One voice, one fearless stand. When Rosa Parks stayed seated, she wasn't just still, she rose from millions with iron will in a Robben Island cell. Nelson Mandela's world rang true. They cracked the spine of apartheid through and through. Abdul Sattar Idi, with compassion as his guide, built an empire of mercy the world could not hide. When empires mocked and hope grew thin, Muhammad Ali Jinnah did not wait. He forged the will to build a state. Churches stood firm while lies fell back. When skies turned grey, he led the way. Malala, struck down by a ghost gun, rose again, her silence undone. Benazir Bhutto broke the wall of fate, crushing patriarchy with a leader's weight. Alan Turing in silence broke war code, but paid a price. He stood still glowed. Dr. King marched storm by storm, dream in hand. His hope too mighty for hate to withstand. Amelia Earhart touched the sky, not through flights alone, but the will the world had never known. None of them waited for the world, they moved it. They were not swallowed by the crowd, they stood against it, because they knew, as we must remember now, the man with courage makes the majority. They truly knew that. Man with courage makes the majority. Mr. President, while crowd hides in comfort, history honored those who stood alone, even in silence. Today, silence is mistaken for peace. Choosing ease over justice empowers injustice. It's not the crowd that leads, it's the brave few. Harriet Tubman freed slaves. Galileo defied dogma. Iqbal Masih fought child labor. Claudette Colvin stayed seated for justice. When one soul dares, fear falls. When one heart beats for truth, thousands follow. In a world that often waits for approval, dare to move without it. When fear silences the many, let your voice rise. For history does not echo the crowd. It remembers the one who stood even in silence. Let tyrants burst and empires swell. Let crowd be swayed by the siren's spell. But one true heart, steadfast and wise, can tear the veil from countless lies. For courage is the spark, the flame that sets the soul and roll the flame. With steadfast heart, he challenges the authority. For the man with courage makes the majority. The man with courage makes the majority. Thank you.